Hey everybody, welcome to the updated Diablo 2 high resolution video. In the background for a little bit of this, you're going to see, hey, I'm playing this at a higher resolution, and also we have cool fancy bars on the side. But two of the more common questions I get while playing it like this is, one, I get asked, how do I get it to run on modern systems? Because this is an old game and a lot of systems don't like it. And the second one is, how do I get it to run at a higher resolution than pixelated junk? And that is pretty simple. I've already done a video over that, but there's a lot of questions that were asked and a lot of technical issues that I was unaware of that I hadn't encountered before for people, so I figured I'd make an updated one that covers, first, we're just going to cover the basics of how I do the upscaled version, why I don't use the widescreen mod instead of Glidewrapper. I actually prefer Glidewrapper, and we'll also cover just how to get it running. First things first, let's get it running. Towards the end of the video, I will cover more questions that people commonly have, as well as cover some of the odd technical issues that, well, between the comment section and here, we have developed the solution to. So first things first, we're going to have to get rid of the beautiful background footage we have from the Amazon run we did recently. I'm going to go ahead and make that disappear. Bye. And we're back onto my sad little desktop. Now, as far as this is all you really need to be able to see. First things first, to do the Glidewrapper thing, you need to download Glidewrapper. It is going to have a weird file like this. There will be a link down in the description to the website you can get it from. I do keep a backup of the 1.4e version on the Discord, just in case the website goes down. But the actual website has ones for version 1.1 all the way up through 1.14e. So, and the way you can tell the version is, and if we just hover up here towards the top, you can see this one says version 1.4e. They are labeled on the website in a manner that is basically kind of like that. So if you were trying to get this for version 1.3 of Diablo 2, you would get version 1.13 of Diablo 2. You would get version 1.3 of the Glidewrapper off the website. I'm not going to back up all of them, and I'm only keeping the 1.4e version for my personal use as a backup, and as well, just in case the website, like I said, goes down. Now, as far as how to install the Glidewrapper, you unzip it to your Diablo 2 folder. You may notice that I intentionally do not have this in program folders and program files because that is one of the things that honestly is kind of useful for whenever you're running it on a modern system. If you install your games outside of program files, it tends to work a little bit better, especially considering a few of the other mods that you're going to be doing, if you're going to be playing Diablo 2 modern day, may involve modifying the files, which is a lot easier to do outside of program files. But we'll cover more of that in the updated Ladder Runewords video. But anyway, for this, we actually have the file that we downloaded from there. It's going to be some weird variation that looks like this. It's going to be like GL32 OGL and then the version after it. If you're wondering why it looks like a strange little mix of letters and numbers, that's what it is. So whenever you unzip it, it's going to give you 3 files here. You're going to see those 3 right there. And we can even look in here and look at it. It's also got the DLL if you're really curious. But whenever you unzip it, it should have the 4 files. Sorry. And in here, you're going to have to double-click the Battlenet. You could also do the README if you want to. It's also visible in the actual program. You double-click this, and this will pop up. And this is going to be all your settings for Glide. Now, you want it in your Diablo 2 folder. Don't be putting it somewhere else. Put it in your Diablo 2 folder with the Diablo 2 exe. So in here, we have a variety of settings. What settings you use will vary depending on what your system setup is. There is a lot of information in here that can get you more kind of refined results for what you're going after. I will show you my personal settings, and it is noting that, yes, I do not record at 1080. I actually upscale to get a slightly smoother look. So let's go ahead and look at these settings. You have window mode. I have captured mouse, so I don't keep slipping outside of it. These are the kind of orientations I actually do there, and I put remember position so I can have it wherever I want. A lot of people actually prefer centered or removing the window outline and stuff like that. Is various options in here. Renderer, these are the settings I use. You can copy them if you want. I can't give you specific support for your system. Maybe people in the comments can, but I do want to just show you the various options in here that you can do with it. So extensions, and there's a lot of good information in the README about those. And then you can also export your stuff. Now, what you want to do before you launch the game is also you want to run test And you'll see that this pops up here. We have a nice little testy field here, and it goes over, hey, this is what you're going to be expecting while you're going through it. I do limit mine to 60 FPS, so that's what we have right there. We're going to go ahead and exit that. It is important that you run that to make sure that your settings are going to work properly. Do it. Don't skip out on that. It's very important. And if you load it up and it's actually in German, this bottom button right here, second from the bottom, is the one that you want to click. It'll toggle it between the two languages. It does actually say English in the German version as well. So yeah, you have that, and you can click quit to exit this. You won't ever really have to go back into it again unless you are going to change some settings in it. So I don't go into this very often. I've got the settings I like. I've got the settings I need for recording with that, and that's how we got there. So after that, and after you've done all your setup there, you want to right-click on your Diablo thing and create a shortcut. Yeah, right there. Just click Create Shortcut, and it'll create a shortcut in there. You can move the shortcut to your desktop like I have with the Diablo 2. I have a few of them here. You can see a bunch of them. But in the case we're looking at the Ladder Runewords one, which is my LR, which uses this and the Ladder Runewords effect. So whenever you open this up, you should have a few little tabs here. Most of these are going to be kind of pointless for you. But you want to come in here and you want to find the target field, and you'll notice that it's got a bunch of things in quotes. For me, it has the direction to the Diablo 2 EXE folder there. Diablo 2 EXE. It's got it in quotes, and then you want to put a space afterwards. After the quote right there, there's a space there. If you can't see that on YouTube, I apologize, but there is a space there. Minus 3DFX, and then that's it. The rest of this is just for another video. But we've got the 3DFX there. This will tell it to, hey, we're looking for the 3DFX DLL. And guess what? That's why you have the Glide 3X right there. And yeah, it's going to pull that, and it's going to say, okay, we're ready to do this in 3DFX. And it uses the Glide in its settings, and that it translates it to modern video cards to let it actually do all this other fun stuff. I personally have mine set up to extreme upscale and then downscale to give me a specific look I'm going for. This is more taxing on your system, but it works. And that's how you get this working. Now, I'm going to say there are other options. You can just straight up run Diablo 2 on a modern system, and it will just like stretch itself to fit the screen. It'll mess up your desktop, all kinds of fun stuff. It'll be jank, but it will work. You can run it on modern systems. That is one option. If you want to check out what that looks like, I'm trying to think of someone who has recently done videos on that. I might include links down below to some video makers so you can look and see what that looks like. Now, if you're looking more for the widescreen mod, and we could actually launch up Project Diablo 2 to see this, the widescreen mod is an actual mod to the game, and that is why I don't recommend it. This is a translator for the graphics, whereas the widescreen mod actually goes into the game and renders further out. And what this is basically doing is it's causing AI issues, because you can see enemies before their AI triggers on the right and the left. And also, it will get you banned from Battlenet to use the widescreen mod, whereas this, in the past, they have actually deleted the thread covering this, but in the past, this was openly allowed on Battlenet, and I have not had a problem running it on Battlenet. Whereas the widescreen mod will get you banned, the Glidewrapper will not. Usually. I can't promise it anymore since they deleted that thread. But it was an official Blizzard response that said it is fine to use this because it's not actually going to have any effect that could be used for cheating purposes because it's a translator rather than a actual like link-in kind of thing that's modifying your stuff. So the other thing to note is sometimes, hey, it won't launch properly. One, if you're installing it in program files, sometimes there can be issues such as administrative access. I personally don't need to run as administrator, but you can, and that can help with some of the technical issues. The other thing that can sometimes be an issue, and we're going to actually delete my other stuff here. It's so sad. The other thing that can sometimes be an issue is you can have kind of wonky stuff going on, and you can actually do the -W in addition to the -3DFX to kind of force it to recognize that it's trying to play in a window, because I personally play in a window, and this is one of the things that it kind of like tricks it into. Sometimes you can even use this with the full screen mode, depending on what kind of settings you have in the Glidewrapper. But if you're having trouble getting the game to launch, sometimes try -W or setting for as administrator. Now, there is one other thing I want to address that kind of came up every about 6th or 7th comment on YouTube. And also came up in some private chats that people sent me. And that is that this is not a high-resolution mod. 1, it's not a mod. 2, it is high resolution. It's upscaling. It's upscaling a low-resolution game to a high resolution. That is high resolution. The term you're looking for whenever you're coming for that stuff is high definition. There was someone working on an AI upscaled game that was technically high definition. Basically, the AI ran and would upscale the graphics to basically be more pixels and slightly more detailed using AI learning. This was never publicly available, and I highly doubt it's going to be applicable later on because they're releasing Diablo 2 Resurrected. This video is meant to kind of cover the interim until the end of the year when they release that. So it is high resolution. If you're looking for high definition, there are actual videos that the person who was making the high definition mod released. And they show the high definition version, and it's not bad looking. It was promising, and it would have been something if Diablo 2 Resurrected did not end up being what it is. And it is worth noting that some of the videos that will come up for that are for the StarCraft 2 version of Diablo 2. Complicated story there, but yeah. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with that. But anyway, this is how you get it running. If you do have any questions, mention them down below. Make sure you have a legitimate copy off of the Battlenet website or you're installing from disks. It is worth noting that installing from disks, you'll actually have more files in here because the classic versions also have a file in them that you can run to kind of set your video settings, and that's what the older versions of Glide actually interact with, whereas this one requires its own stuff. So that's important to know, and I think that's about it as far as this video. Hopefully it was helpful. I'm sorry it's a lot longer than the previous one. It does cover the same information. If you want it kind of like dragged through more detail on going through them, the first video may be able to help you on some of the things I might have forgotten to mention in this. I just wanted to kind of update it with the common questions and common issues people had. And that is honestly how I end up with, well, this. And it's worth noting that whenever I'm playing the game, those sidebars are not there. I am literally playing in window. These sidebars I'm adding via post. I'm actually adding them via OBS now. I used to add them via my editor, and they're not actually part of the game. You can't just have them there. I suppose you could just make them your wallpaper and center the image there if you really wanted to. That's your own fluff. You can download those on the Discord as well. They're in there. I make most of my sidebars publicly available because I figure, hey, other people could find a use for them. But on that, I'm going to let you guys go. And if this was helpful, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more Diablo 2, hit the subscribe button and hit that bell if you really, really want to see more Diablo 2, because guess what? YouTube's depreciating subscribers, so the more you watch, the more you see. So keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.